One excellent way to optimize your code and prepare it for changes in the future is to use one event handler with multiple objects. Here I have a timeline organized into 3 frame labels: board 1, board 2, board 3, and I have some simple animations playing. What I did here is I took each of the buttons. Notice they're all on the buttons layer, which only has one keyframe. I intentionally did that to make sure I wouldn't have any problems with my code. So they're on one keyframe that lasts for the whole duration of the timeline. So I named the buttons the same as my frame labels. So I have the first one that's called board 1, the second one that's called board 2, and the third one is called board 3. Let's go to the first keyframe of the actions layer and open up the actions panel. Here, I've connected board 1 to the button clicked event handler. I've done the same thing for board 2 and board 3. So they're all pointing to the button clicked event handler. Now what I'll do when a button is clicked is send the timeline to the frame that corresponds to the clicked button. Let's take a look at how to do that. I know for sure I'm going to want to use goTo and play. goTo and with a capital A, play with a capital P, and some parentheses and a semicolon. Now, let's say I want to access information about the button that was clicked that triggered this event handler. So let's say I clicked the board 1 button. How do I find out which button I clicked? To do that, I can go to Event. That's the name of the event. Dot current target with a capital T. And that's going to create a reference to whatever button that I clicked on. So if I clicked on board 1, it's going to give me a reference to board 1. If I happen to click on board 2, it's going to give me a reference to board 2, etc. And then I want to get the object's instance name. Because if I just have event.currentTarget, the name would be board 1, board 2, or board 3, but that gives me a reference to the object and not its instance name. So I need to just have its instance name as a string so that it'll work as a frame label. To do that, I type .name. And that gives me the name property of the object that was clicked. So it gives me board 1 as a string, board 2 as a string, or board 3 as a string. I can test the movie, and I can click the buttons and navigate around to the different frames. So by using the current target property, I'm able to access any information I need from the object that triggered the event handler.